Yeah, I'm a legitimate world champion, and put some respect on my name. Put some respect on my name, bro.
I'm putting the respect.
Put some respect on my name. Put some respect on my name, bitch.
What's up, fight fans? This is Kirk DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning the IBF Daniel Dubois, Daryl Peoples Incorporated. Get this. The IBF has confirmed that Daniel Dubois can make an optional defense against any ranked fighter before April 2025, okay? Or April 22nd, 2025. When asked about a potential fight against Wardley, we know that Daniel has already made it clear that he vows to destroy anybody that comes near him in his way. Wardley is on that list, okay? Because he's voluntary. Anybody ranked. Who's ranked in the IBF? Well, I get Caballero, Martin McCauley, Derek Chisora, Jared Anderson. We have a lot of fighters that are ranked. Joseph Parker. And I think that Vianetta is the one that upset Arslanbek Markmadov, gave him his second loss. So, there's a lot of fights that could be fought. And if I was Daniel Dubois, I probably would pick someone like Vianetta. Vianetta is a guy that he sparred with a lot. He's been in there. He knows. He's familiar with. So I think that would be the case with Daniel Dubois. I don't see him fighting Aged Caballero. I don't see him fighting Martin McCauley. Just pretty much based on the fact that Zhilei Zhang also, I don't see any of that. I don't see any of that at all. Those fights are, I just don't see them unless Turki Alalshikh is paying the money. Turki Alalshikh pretty much controls the two biggest promoters in the sport. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Turki Alalshikh controls two of the biggest promoters in the sport. That's Frank Warren, which is Daniel Dubois' promoter, and that's Eddie Hearn. Okay, which promotes pretty much everyone else, right? Because they both have a big stable of fighters. And Frank Warren is on the up and up. He's winning. Everyone's flourishing. But understand, they're flourishing because Turki Alalshikh made the fights happen for the fighters to flourish. And that represents the promoter, of course. And I think that Turki controls the money. Whoever controls the money is running the show. He is the network. He's using the zone as the overall tool to get the fights, to show the fights, to air the fights. Just like with Floyd, Money Mayweather used Golden Boy Promotions. He's using the network to zone, in his fights. And I think that Daniel Dubois, one good thing about him is Daniel Dubois doesn't care who it is, as long as the money's there. Well, again, it goes back to who? Turki Alalshikh. See, they're going to go for the money. See, Daniel didn't care. What we learned about Daniel Dubois, besides him having a couple bad performances, we learned that it was more about money. That's why he didn't go further into the amateurs, to possibly the Olympics or, other festivals or whatever. Events. He wanted to do more for his family. He wanted the money, for the Joshua fight. That's why he was excited for the Joshua fight, because he knows what Joshua made. He was Anthony Joshua as far as the UK. Queensberry had it. Okay, Queensberry signed him on what he did to AJ when AJ was a professional and he was still an amateur. Because remember, he's a lot younger. And the idea of Daniel Dubois willing to pick these fights, let's just hope it's someone worthwhile. Let's just hope it's somebody we know. Because if it's somebody we don't know, which I don't know if that's going to be the case, but he can do whatever he wants. You know what I mean? As long as it is Turkey's behind it. See, the IBF is allowing this to happen, so he keeps his belt. So he's good on that end. But if he figures, if it's one of those big fights that involves one of these guys that Turkey pays, himself included, like Martin McCauley or Zhilei Zhang, it's going to have to be for a certain amount of money. If it's not, that fight ain't going to happen. You know what I mean? So they're going to pick someone safer. Because let me tell you, if Daniel Dubois fights someone like Zhilei Zhang, the first 5 rounds could be very dangerous. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Because one thing we learned about AJ, he gets clipped, he goes all to pieces. Someone like Zhilei Zhang has a southpaw at that, coming from that stance, that's dangerous. See, he's a guy that can counter. He has 2 hard punches, both punches, the straight left and the right. You know what I mean? Those punches, that right hook, that straight left, and he throws them in combinations against someone like Danny Dubois that likes to come forward. You're looking at a firefight. Don't get me wrong, I would love a fight like that, but you think Frank, which Zhilei Zhang is also a Queensberry fighter, you think he would want him both in there? No. You know what I mean? He would want these fighters out fighting other people to make himself look good for the likelihood in the reputation of Queensberry. I don't see him putting him in there. That's just like Shelley Finkel. Did you think Shelley really wanted Deontay Wilder in there with Vladimir Klitschko when he managed them both? No. Because he knew, well, no, because one beats the other. Why would they fight each other when they could fight other people? That's why Joshua got the Vladimir Klitschko fight instead of Wilder getting the Joshua fight or the Vladimir Klitschko fight. Okay, it's the same difference in this situation. Zhilei Zhang, okay, unless it's in China, right? He doesn't hold any value like Danny Dubois could possibly hold. His potential to hold the value commercial-wise, he could do endorsements. I mean, he's not an idiot, okay? He's just not quick, and he's a quiet guy, you know what I mean? But he has somewhat of a personality. He's bashful, you know what I mean? And he's not here's the thing, he's marketable. He's a marketable fighter. And he's taken out guys that used to be very marketable fighters. You know what I'm saying? So I think Frank knows that. And Frank's like, you know what? As much confidence that he claims he has with Daniel, and I know Daniel has the confidence, but I don't think he's willing or that confident enough to put him in there with someone like Zhang. And Martin McCall is a wild card because he's not with Queensberry at all. So I don't think he's more than likely, and he has to fight Aguet Caballo anyway. So it won't be those two anyhow. Because that's going to be something that's going to eventually have to be forced to happen. You know what I mean? Unless Frank can work his magic doing some other matchmaking, which could happen. Because, of course, he does have Zhilei Zhang. Because maybe he could have Zhang fighting someone like Martin McCauley, to keep him away from Daniel Dubois. Because that will be another very dangerous fight. Especially someone 31, 32 years old like Martin McCauley. Martin McCauley is dangerous, man. He's a dangerous, slow-footed, fast combination fighter. And then that would be a fight probably of the ages. A younger guy versus in his prime era guy fighting for whatever. Fighting for the IBF, rather. Right? So, it's a lot that could be involved with Daniel Dubois picking a voluntary. But again, understand it's a voluntary, not a mandatory. And most voluntaries should be more of a passive end. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't put your fighter in there with these hellacious punchers and these dangerous fighters all the time. That's just not smart. You know what I mean? That's what you call with Oscar De La, that's what Oscar De La Hoya would call a bad promoter. Okay? So I don't think Frank is that at all anyway, and I don't think that would be. So I do think it would be someone like Francisco Vianetta, right? I think that's his first name, Vianetta. That beat Arslan Bekmambetov. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of this new news concerning the IBF allowing Danny Dubois to fight a voluntary. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!